Hello and welcome back, everybody. Death's Crowbar here, and today we will be playing more Magic: The Gathering 2014 Duels of the Planeswalkers. Now, yesterday we went through the first two missions of the tutorial in the campaign. This is our kind of walkthrough of how to play Magic, our our 101 videos. And we should have about two of these, and then maybe later on I'll do a deck builder one. But I currently would not have enough cards to easily do a deck building session, so we'll just, put that one off until later. So now I'm just going to play my hand as I've got it, because all of this is preset hands on here on the tutorial. Alright, so he's got a Suntail Hawk. It's got flying, so I can't defend against it until I get a flyer or something with reach. Alright. So I'm going to want to play my Runeclaw Bear now. And I've got this Aura, which I can play my next turn, which will make my Runeclaw Bear a 5/5. Because it gives +3/+3. I can't block, so he flies through. Once you get some of this down, it's very simple to play this game. And sorry I'm scratching myself so much, I've got an itch on my back. So. First strike, basically with any creature with first strike, when they attack they deal damage first, so if they do enough damage to kill your creature, they don't get dealt damage. Double strike is pretty much the same, except it's got first strike and then it attacks again. So it deals double the damage, but only once does it have first strike. So now we're going to enchant our bear with Oakenform. And then we're going to attack with him. And likely he'll block, I'm guessing. Maybe not. I guess not. So he takes 5 damage, he's got 15 life left. Just 4 more of those attacks and he's gone. And he is playing creatures you control get +1/+1. Okay. Alright. So now he's hitting me for 5. So it's going to be a standoff kind of thing if I don't get rid of some of his creatures. Just trading blows is not something you want to have to do. But here, I have got myself a creature with reach. Reach allows them to reach the flyers to take them out. Simply put. And now we have another Oakenform. Alright, so there's two things here. We can use Oakenform on our giant spider, or we can use it again on our bear, which makes him an 8/8. So we're going to attack with our 8/8, and he's likely going to block this one. No? Okay. Oh, good, he did. There we go. Alright, so he blocked. So So there we go. He didn't want to take that 8 damage. Now he's probably going to attack with his 3-2. Maybe not. Destroy all creatures. Okay. So he's destroyed all the creatures on the battlefield. So we're going to need another creature. And whenever a creature enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, you may search your library for a creature card with the same total power and toughness and put it into the battlefield. If you do, shuffle your library. That's a really nice card to put out. So we're going to play that for now. And he's probably going to play something right off the bat. I don't know if he's got angels or what. I don't know what his deck has. And I'm sorry if you haven't heard me very well. I just noticed my mic was up. Alright, so he's got a flyer, Leonin Sky Hunter. Hopefully I'm loud enough that when my mic is up you can hear me well. So he's got his Leonin Sky Hunter right there. Alright, so all we've got is that and a Bountiful Harvest. So I'm going to play the Bountiful Harvest. We're going to gain life. And hope that we get a creature the next turn. Like I said, this is all planned out already for the all the cards that are going to be given to you, so it should give me another creature or two, I think. Alright, so here we have Enormous Baleth or whatever. And that triggers it, which allows me to pull out another 7/7. And so we can pull out our Verdant Force at the beginning of each upkeep, put a 1/1 Saproling token onto the battlefield, or our Engulfing Slagworm. So I think I am going to do the Verdant Force. So now we have two 7/7s out. They both have Summoning Sickness right now, but my next turn I will have a lot more creatures to play. Alright, so now I get another creature. And now we have Garruk's Pack Leader. Whenever another creature with the power of 3 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. So I play that. I get another creature by that, which is equal to 4/4. So we play our Stampeding Rhino. He's got Trample. Yes, I want to draw a card. We play another mana, another land, and then we're going to attack with all 3. He's likely to block both of the 7/7s and let the 1/1 go through. Like I said, blocking the 7/7s, letting the 1/1 go through so that he does not lose this turn. So now we get another Saproling. Let me look at this. It says at your upkeep, but something's wrong here because your upkeep should only be at the beginning of your turn. It's untap, upkeep, draw. Then you have main phase, attack phase, second main phase. So now we're going to attack with everything. He takes 7 damage. He takes another 7 damage. Okay. He takes 1 damage. Takes 1 damage. Okay. He takes 4 damage. He takes 1 damage. And he should take another 4 damage. And so now he should be somewhere at -16, yeah. So we win that one. And that just kind of shows how playing things works. How there's a strategy to playing a certain card so that you get better stuff later on. Alright, so this is actually a very bad hand they've given me. But we're going to play our forest. And it's bad because all I've got is 2 6-cost creatures that are 6/5s. So I've really got nothing I can easily do. Alright. Now this is an instant, Giant Growth. But right now, all we've got is mana. Giant Growth isn't going to help because it gives +3/+3 until end of turn. And all we have is our Alpha Tyrannex. I don't know how that's supposed to be said. Alright, so now we have this, our Colonian Tusker. Yeah, Colonian. And we could play Giant Growth on him right now. But let's wait. Because, you know, it's best to wait and see what happens before... Because, for example, if he were to block, or I needed to block him... See, this, for example, is what I mean. So that would give him 5 and first strike. So, see, these lightning talons are enchanting this creature here. So now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to wait for him to attack. Yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to block in our blocking phase. We're going to hit block. Then we're going to stop the timer with our instant. And so that will kill his creature and leave ours there. Even though his has first strike, it doesn't have enough power to take ours out yet. So he deals 5 from the start. Ours does 6, taking out his 5/1 creature. Now see, this game's pretty basic. I mean, it's not that hard to get a whole... And one thing, you do want to wait until they attack and you block to play that if you're doing it that way. Because if you don't, it is highly likely your opponent will see that you've played this, not attack that turn, and so you've wasted your Giant Growth. So now we're going to attack with our 3/3. So you've got to use things strategically. I mean, this game you do have to think on, but it's fairly simple to get the main gist of it. And really, after you get the main way of how to play, you're gonna easily learn over time how to do strategies and things that will work well. So he's going to probably lightning bolt my 4/2. Yep. 3 direct damage. Alright, and we've got target creature gains indestructible until end of turn. We don't actually need that right just now, But if he does something to kill my creature, I can use this. Likely he's going to use a spell here. No? Okay. And I use that, and it prevents any damage from being dealt. Because indestructible prevents damage being dealt, and it prevents anything from having... If the card says destroy, it doesn't destroy it. That's part of indestructible. So now there are cards that deal -1 counters, and those are not negated by indestructible. Alright, so we want to continue, stop the timer, use withstand death, and so now we've made him basically waste his lightning bolt, and now we're going to play our Alpha Tyrannex. I don't know which one exactly it is. And just attack, because he's got nothing out to defend against us with. Alright, so now he has a first strike 3/2. His lightning hounds. So that would kill our Colonian Tusker if we attack or block with it. So we don't want to attack or block with our Colonian Tusker. So we're just going to attack with our Alpha Tyrannex. Tyrannex. Whatever. I don't care the pronunciation. And see, he blocks with that. So 3 damage gets dealt to our creature. 6 to his, which leaves him in the dust. Another one bites the dust. Put X 1/1 goblin creature tokens onto the battlefield. So he's got to pay X, then pay 3, 2 red mana and 1 regular mana. So he only has, it looks like 6 mana. So he can only make 3 1/1 creature tokens. Okay, he had 7 mana, so 4. Alright, so this is an instant. Creature gets +X until end of turn. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, see, there's a 7 there, but I wasn't even looking at that. But knowing that we have 7 mana, we can do +6 damage, which would not be enough, even if he doesn't block one of these, to keep him from, you know, dying. He would still survive, even if he hadn't have blocked one, because he'd likely have blocked both the 6/5s and not the 3/3 if he wasn't blocking anything. So now we're just going to continue, because this is an instant, it's a one-time effect. It does not work as an enchantment. Alright, so now we've got a Lava Axe coming at us directly. It's going to do 5 damage to us. Lava Axe is really a great card, but I don't think it's in standard anymore, which there's a couple different ways to play Magic, and one is called there's standard, there's modern, there's a couple different ways. Personally, I prefer just playing house rules, and if you play house rules style, which is the way I usually play, then there's a couple different ways, but usually you'll be able to play whatever deck you want without any trouble. So. And now we've dealt 12 damage directly to him just through one creature, and he's gone. There's really nothing he can do unless he could somehow negate all damage done that turn. But he didn't, and so we win. And so next we have one more to go, and then Chandra. And so we're going to go with this, and then we're going to fight Chandra. And that will be the end of this tutorial, how to play kind of thing. Or Magic 101. So we play our land, he plays his land. Neither of us have had a creature to play. And if you remember, I did mention artifacts earlier in our last video. Whenever you cast a green spell or a forest enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. See, that's really nice because every spell I have is a green spell, and every land I have is a forest. Every mana. So that means whenever I play a card, I get 1 life, regardless of what it is. Alright, so now he has a 0/4 Kraken Hatchling that is just going to defend because it has no attack. It can't attack me. It can only block. And so we are going to play that there, and we're going to skip the attack phase altogether because he'll just block it, and you know, there's really nothing to be gained out of it. Now he is playing a blue deck, and blue is your basically negation deck, and it will allow a lot of creatures to gain different things. Now, here's something you need to know. Activated abilities are only abilities where you must pay mana to do it. So, if it says this happens and it doesn't ask you to pay mana, it's not an activated ability. You need to know this because some cards say it negates all activated abilities. So, you really need to know what an activated ability is. Alright, so now we have our Bone Splitter, which is a nice card to play. And we can play our Runeclaw Bear. Alright, so we're going to play Runeclaw Bear. Then we're going to play Bone Splitter. And notice we have been gaining life with every card we play. And so now we're going to click on this, we're going to hit Equip, and equip it to our Runeclaw Bear. So now he will be a 4/2. So we're going to attack, and hope that he blocks with something. Alright, so he's blocked with his 2/3. And so that will take out his 2/3, but it will also take out our Runeclaw Bear. Artifacts don't go away unless you destroy or exile an artifact. Unless it's an artifact creature, in which case it does die when its health is all gone. So now we're going to equip this. And we're going to continue and attack with our Runeclaw Bear. And he'll likely block with his 0/4. So next turn, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So turn after next, right? the turn after next, we can play our Gigantomancer, which is a very interesting card. And you can, as long as you have mana and it's one of your main phases, remove or add a artifact from a creature, which makes things very interesting. Or it can. So he has no creatures with flying, so that's not going to help us at all. So we're just going to continue, move to the attack phase, attack with our Runeclaw Bear again, and he's either going to block it or take the 4. Alright, return target creature to its owner's hand. So our artifact is stayed out, but our Runeclaw Bear did not. And since it's still a main phase, we can still play our Runeclaw Bear and attach our artifact. My mouth is a little dry, guys, so sorry about that. I don't have any water with me, but... Alright, so he has a archivist, whatever you want to say, 4-cost, 1/1 creature, but you can tap it to draw a card. And like I said in the last, card advantage is a major, major thing in Magic. If you can play 4 more creatures than I can, you can just decimate me. Typically. Alright, so now we have our Jade Mage. And we can pay 3 to put a 1/1 green Saproling creature token onto the battlefield. Now it is important to note, there is a reason why it has the mana of any color. You can make decks that have more than one color. In fact, you can use all 5 colors of Magic if you want. You can also make decks without any color to them, which is interesting. They're usually called mirror decks, and like I said, they're interesting. So that's an activated ability. Like I said, it has to tell you to do something to activate the ability for it to be an activated ability. Trample is not an activated ability, unless it says pay X or tap this and give something trample. Alright, so now we are just going to keep going with what we've got here. And he's likely not to attack with his 1/1. He's got it there for card advantage. So, highly unlikely he attacks with it. When Master Thief enters the battlefield, gain control of a target artifact for as long as you control the Master Thief. Alright, so he gets control of my card, my artifact that has been giving me life, or, yeah, he can gain my other artifact too. So he has chosen to take that, which is actually a very good choice. So now what we want to try and do is get rid of his Master Thief if possible. We still do not have enough for our Gigantomancer, unfortunately. So we are going to make us 2 saplings. And then, because he's got the 2/4, we're going to skip attack and end our turn. The reason for that is his 2/4 will take out anything we attack, and then it'll attack us next time. Now, I do want to mention there are creatures which are called defenders. They have the ability defender, which means they can't attack at all. Though there are other creatures which, until you add something to them, basically will act like a defender to some degree. There's also cards which allow you to block multiple creatures with one card, and different small abilities you'll see here and there on different creatures. Now he's drawing 2 cards. Like I said, card advantage is a big thing. And he's getting it. Alright, so now we have Elvish Piper. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. This is big. The reason, because we can play that our next turn. It's got Summoning Sickness, so we can't tap it this turn because it's a creature. But our next turn we can. Now we're going to put another Saphirling into play. Now there's no limit to the amount of creatures you can have in your hand, and technically in Magic there is no limit to the amount of cards you can have in your deck, your library, as it's also called, either. The one rule is your deck has to be able to stand up on its own with the amount of cards you've got. So some people will make like a 200 card deck with the theme of it being we're going to return things from the graveyard. So they have it where it gets rid of a lot of cards, puts it in their graveyard, then they return it very cheaply onto the battlefield. And I'm doing hand movements which you probably can't even see because of how my... I probably should have blocked with my 1-1, but oh well. Which you probably can't even see because my webcam isn't, well, very good. Like I said in the last video, my birthday's coming up. I've got some stuff which is going to, if someone gets some of it for me, will help me in this whole thing of trying to, oops, wrong one. How do I cancel that? Okay. So we want to first do this, and then we're going to pull out our Gigantomancer, which his ability should work as an instant. And then we're going to play Plummet on that creature. And then, let's see. Alright, so now I believe we will go ahead and attack. Alright, so we're going to do that. Then they're going to declare their blockers. So we're going to make all of those 7/7s. And so that gives them all pretty much the ability to go through and attack. We don't even have to make any of them indestructible or withstand death because they are doing enough damage to take him out. And that's how Magic is played, kind of. You know, you just use the cards wisely. Know how things work and how to work things together, and like I said, this will teach you a lot playing this game. And then also another thing is playing casually with other people. So if you don't have any Magic cards, which you likely don't if you're new to Magic, Alright, so we're going to play our first real game here. So we are not going to keep our hand. We're going to do what's called a mulligan, because we have lots of high-cost creatures here. Oh, I just said we weren't, didn't I? One sec. Restart duel. Alright, so we've got a bunch of high-cost creatures. Or we did, and this looks a lot better. Alright, so we're going to keep this hand. Alright, so we're going to play our mana, play our land for the turn. You can only play one per turn unless a card says otherwise. Play another, and then play a Colonian Tusker. Tustingo! Yeah. Alright, so reminding us of Summoning Sickness, which means they can't attack or use a ability which causes them to tap until the end of their turn. I do recommend, if you've never played Magic, you don't have cards, play casually with someone who you know who does have cards. It is highly likely someone you know has played Magic and does play Magic. So it would be a good idea to just ask someone you know, hey, if you know they play Magic cards, or even if they don't, ask them, hey, do you play Magic? And if they say yes, or if you already know they play Magic, ask if you can play with some decks and play against them and just kind of learn some stuff. Now, some people that haven't played in a while won't know all the newer rules. Some things have changed since Magic originally came out. So people will need to know some of the newer stuff, how certain new abilities work, but other than that, things should be fine. I'm going to play my Widow. Once again, Summoning Sickness. The tips will keep popping up as you play this unless you turn them off. And if you're a new player, if you're really new to Magic, I recommend you keep the tips on for a while until you get a hold of how things work. Like I said, this is a full-on game. All the cards are random that I'm drawing. I don't know what I'm going to get. And there's another Pilgrim's Eye. Those are actually very nice. Because when Pilgrim's Eye enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. So this allows the person to make sure they have a land out every single turn. Alright, so here's the thing. I've got 4 mana, and I want to attack her directly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Hunt the Weak. Alright. So this says put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Then the creature fights the target creature you don't control. So I'm going to put that on my spider, and then I'm going to make it attack the flyer. So that makes it a 4/4 spider, and that I can now attack for 10 this turn. Like I said, this is a random battle here. This has been a great hand for it, too. Now, sometimes you don't get such great hands, and you have to mulligan. And usually, when you mulligan, what happens is your hand goes down, you put your hand, shuffle your library back, and then draw 6 new cards instead of 7. And if you mulligan again, it's 5, and then 4, and then 3, and 2, and 1. Now, casual rules, there are a couple differences. Usually you'll get 1 free mulligan, and usually, or at least where the people I play with, if you only have one land or one creature in your hand, they'll allow you to mulligan for free until you get more than one land and more than one creature. But usually you have to show if you've only got one land and one creature, or one creature. Pillar of Flame deals 2 damage to target creature or player. If creature damage this way, die, exile it instead. So he's likely dealing it to me. Yeah, Chandra. Now each character, each of these planeswalkers I fight against in this have a backstory. There are books for all the magic stuff. Whether that's surprising to you or not, they actually have Magic the Gathering as a book series you can read. I hear it's very good. I haven't actually read them myself. This is talking about trample. If a creature with trample would deal enough combat damage to its blockers to destroy them, it deals the rest of its damage to the defending player. And just for safety, we're going to play both our other creatures. And then we're going to attack for 10 more damage. And if they do something to prevent the damage, they prevent it, but obviously not, so we win. So basically this is kind of how to play Magic. There's not really much more I can teach you on how to play. So for doing this, we got more cards and another deck unlocked in this game. And like I said in my last video, I'll wait till this is over. So there's tons of different planeswalkers, and there's a new core set coming out soon, Magic the Gathering 2015. I recommend, if you're going to get into Magic soon, you get in on 2015, because that will have the core set with the core rules for all the new stuff. Rules do change periodically with new sets, the new core sets. So they're usually small changes, and they usually have to do with how things work with blocking or flying or simple stuff like that. For example, used to, if something blocked, it got tapped, but nowadays if something blocks, it does not tap, it's just blocked and cannot be used to block again. So that's kind of how it works. There's other things other cards have. There's one called Vigilance, where when a creature attacks, it can also block the next turn, because usually when a creature attacks, it gets tapped, which means it can't block. But if it has Vigilance, it can. There's tons of different creature types. Certain things do certain other things. There's Exiling, which means you can't even use the card again if it card would allow you to use something from your graveyard. And tons of different ways different things work. And really the only way to really understand it all is to play through it yourself. I highly recommend you play Magic if you're interested at all. Buy the Duels of the Planeswalker game. Another one's coming out soon enough. It should be coming out this summer. Magic the Gathering 2015. I recommend you get it. If you want to play now, get this one. There are decks you can buy that are pre-made at your local card shop, or Walmart even carries them usually in their trading card game section, but I recommend going to your local card shop. If you have a local comic book or trading card shop, usually they'll give you what mine calls a good guy discount for buying from them, and regulars get even more of a discount. They'll usually have tons of different cards. There are individual cards you can buy as singles, as they call it, and some will be worth more, some will be worth less. And they're worth however much based on their rarity and based on what they do. And so the really, really good cards that are rare are going to be anywhere between $10 to $200. Yeah, I know, that's a lot. But, you know, sometimes they're really worth it if you're doing really big Magic tournaments like the Grand Prix and things. But, you know, if you're new, don't worry about it. Get some stuff, get some guys together, play some casual play. Grab some starter decks. I recommend you grab a fat pack. They're $40, $39.99. Fat packs, they have 9 packs of cards in them. Each pack has 15 cards in it, unless it has a foiled card, in which case it has 16, and it should have land there in it too. And it should have extra land for you, which is something you will need. It'll also have some cardboard deck boxes and a spin down life counter dice, which is basically a D20 that each one beside it is a lower number, so that it spins down to where you are in life. Though I prefer using a piece of paper or a app. There's certain apps for Magic the Gathering, counting your life and everything. And so, yeah, like I said, grab a fat pack or two, $40 a piece. You could buy a box, which are usually $100 a piece, except certain sets are even more than that because how old they are and how many good cards they have in them. There's some special sets like from the vault you can get, and I highly recommend if you buy things like fat packs, boxes, and things, and if you're going to get into Magic a lot and you have the money, buy one that's new, set it aside. With every couple sets, or every set, buy a box or a fat pack or something that's new, set it aside, and just leave it there. Don't open it, don't touch it, don't mess with it at all. Certain ones have raised from $40 to $60 or $80, and usually you can sell these to your local shop, to people directly that you'll find at your local shop, or maybe even to some of the people online like Star City Games you'll find. You can search Craigslist. You can also find a lot of cards cheap on eBay, a lot of collections that people will be selling because they don't play anymore or they need money for this or that. I do warn against with eBay, you're probably not going to get all the best cards if you're getting what looks like a good deal. If it looks like, you know, as many people say, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. But, you know, just buy some cards, buy some packs, buy a fat pack, buy a couple starter decks, get yourself started off if you find it interesting, and play. If you like, and you got 2014, I'll play with you online. I'll talk you through some of the stuff. We can play online through this. I've even got it on the Xbox 360, I believe, for this one and every previous one. So, you know, do that. Thank you guys for watching. And if you forgot to watch my first video, I will leave an annotation and a link both at the beginning and end of this video to the last one, and I should leave annotations in the last video and this one to my how-tos for Hearthstone. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, favorite, share, and subscribe. Anything you do helps me immensely in getting this YouTube stuff going. I really like to do this more than just this. Anything, the more subscribers and the more views I get, the more likely it is for me to get a job or something in the gaming industry or in YouTubing or streaming or something of that sort, which is what I'd really enjoy to do, because currently I'm 17. I know I don't necessarily look it, but I'm 17. I've got arthritis and I've got psoriasis, and both of those do a great deal on my joints. The only things which really don't get it as much are my fingers and my hands and my wrist, which allows me to game a lot, to record stuff, to do that kind of thing. But my back, it hurts a lot, and my knees and hips hurt a lot, my shoulders. So, I can't really do lifting, and the psoriasis prevents me from really working in the food industry anywhere. So I'd really it's always been my dream to go into the gaming industry, but as I've gotten these diseases, as I've gone through stuff, things kind of seem to be more pointing towards that, and I'd really like to do that. And I'll leave a link to my Amazon wish list. All the stuff on it is stuff that I'd like to get. My birthday's coming out on May the 31st. If you'd like to get me anything, go ahead, buy me something, please. And thank you. You don't have to, but if you do, I'd really enjoy it. I've got it set to where I don't know if I get it until it's here, so I'll make sure to make a video of it, unboxing it, thank you for it, talk about it on streams or whatever. I've got a couple things there, and, anything you do will be helpful. I've actually got a chair up there which I'd like to have, but it's highly expensive, so if you don't have the money, don't worry about that. If you want to get me something else, feel free to. If you think I need a better webcam, grab me the webcam. I've got a couple different things up there. So yeah. The chair, the only reason I've even got it there, though, is because of my back, and the fact that I have a bad back already, and then arthritis on top of it. I had cancer before, and spinal taps really ruined my back. So, yeah. So thank you guys. Like I said, please like, comment, favorite, share, and subscribe. I'll leave annotations everywhere, and links, and stuff, doobly-doo, and whatnot, and put this on Twitter. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and follow me on twitch.tv/deathscrowbar. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/thedeathscrowbar, or just search Death's Crowbar, and Twitter I am at Death's Crowbar. Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you so much for everything you do. I highly value what you do for me. And sorry I'm looking up a lot of the time. It's because I only have a TV screen which is mounted on the wall to use for monitors, and which is why I've got a monitor on the wish list, which would allow me to place a monitor here in front of me where it would look more like I'm looking at you. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. I'm hoping to find my camera soon and do some more vlog stuff and more of my cancer stories videos. But until then, to all you nerds out there, to all you gamers, and to all you geeks, keep doing what you do. This is Death's Crowbar.